What's up, Leo? Welcome to your July 2021 general reading. This is going to be for you, Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs, but of course, it's not going to resonate with all of you guys, so don't get corns on your feet trying to make a shoe fit that doesn't, okay? But definitely check out your other placements because you might get some more information or some added messages there. We are in the season of Cancer, which is the season of I Feel, which is the season of fourth house things. When we talk about fourth house, we talk about foundations, we talk about our emotional stability and security. We talk about family, right? We talk about the mother and that nurturing energy. It's very home based, it's very close to the heart based, it's very family based. So there's a lot of this work-life balance that people are trying to work out and figure out collectively. And you guys are really no different. So on top of dealing with like that fourth house energy that's already here with this Cancer season, right? For you guys, this is your 12th house energy, which is, 12th house energy is not easy. It's very emotional. It has a lot to do with your beliefs and your spirituality. It has a lot to do with your karma. It has a lot to do with even secrets and things being revealed, much like that Scorpio 8th house energy can have. Don't be surprised if certain things do come to light this month. Now, of course, the degree of how big these things are in terms of like, ooh, secrets. Like for some of you guys, they might be big blown up things. For some of you guys, it might be minor details or pieces that you are missing. That's very normal. You guys are also going to be feeling probably more introspective this month because of that 12th house energy. So, spending a lot of time with yourself and resting, meditating, especially when you guys get overwhelmed, because again, there is really like this work-life balance that's kind of could be at play here this month, right? We're also dealing with right now Venus is in Cancer right now. So that's also 12th house energy. So there's a lot of that even in terms of your relationships. Some of you guys might even find if you're in a relationship that you might even be coming off a little bit more distant this month, or that you have been coming off a little more distant these last couple weeks. Like to your partner, they would describe you as being a little bit more detached. Now, we did have a fixed T-square, which is, not easy, makes things pretty complicated. It's a hard aspect. So usually whenever things come up around those times, it's not, it's not like a gift that you want, right? It's something that's a little bit more challenging. But we are going to have Mars and Venus conjunct actually a couple days, like 12th, 13th. Which will kind of help and lift some of that tension and pressure that a lot of people have been having. So even in terms of relationships, if you guys have been feeling a little bit distant, or if your partner's been complaining to you that you've been a little bit more stagnant and just kind of like standoffish, this is a great time to bring a little bit of fun and romance back into the mix. But as far as cards, you guys start off with, you have the Six of Cups, which is the unseen energy. I actually love this card getting it here, especially considering we're in Cancer season. Six of Cups to me is very much connected to kind of that Cancer season energy, because Cancers, if you're close to any, or if familiar, if you're on the cusp, very nostalgic sign. Like they get lost in the nostalgia of things. They get very caught up in the feelings, the old feelings of things, right? Which is what makes it very hard for sometimes Cancers to move on from relationships, because they're so caught, thinking about, 2004 was lit though, we were so good, So, again, very introspective month for you guys. Probably a lot of feels to go around. It's a very emotional month because it is Cancer. But this does talk about soulmate energy. This does talk about family. It does talk about that nostalgia. So that's kind of the theme for you guys this month. Now, you start off with Emperor. Loves it. We've got the Four of Wands, which is a celebration card. And then we've got the Ace of Swords. Like I said, for some of you guys, there will be clarity this month in terms of maybe some things coming out, some information becoming, coming your way, or even, again, the lift that you get once Mars and Venus kind of go conjunct and kind of, clear out any things that were unclear during that fixed T square. Now, Emperor energy is really interesting for you guys. I actually like to see it here. It's what's starting the reading. So Emperor, what is he? He's dynamic. He's the authority. He is the father. There's a lot about family, right? Especially because we are in this fourth house energy, but there's a lot about family and coming together. Possibly some of you guys are figuring out that you've got more babies on the way, more children on the way. Maybe some of you guys are figuring out that you're going to be a father. Maybe some of you guys are going into deeper levels of commitment with people, which is also really, really beautiful. Because when we talk about the Four of Wands, we talk about something to celebrate, right? Fours in tarot, it doesn't matter if it's a wand, a sword, a pentacle, or a cup. There's a pause that's kind of there, and it's in order to either celebrate or to think or to meditate or to rest, whatever the situation is. But it's when we take a pause, and in this case, it's to celebrate things because doors have opened. Four of Wands is also that 1111 card. So this lets me know that you guys have really been working hard trying to manifest all these different things. And I feel like we've been talking about this for the last few months. So, really, really good. I think a lot of you guys in terms of work or just your status and whatever it is that you do, there's a lot of elevation that could be here. Maybe some of you guys are seeing yourself more as the, authority that you are. Maybe other people are actually learning about you and like hearing about you, coming to you, wanting services from you. This is someone who is in control. This is someone who is their own boss type thing. But it can be overwhelming as well, right? You got the Two of Swords, which is clarifying it. Two of Swords is very much about making a decision. It's like, okay, we've come to this fork in the road. I can go left or I can go right. But you see, homegirl is like blindfolded, right? So she can't see. She's also got her heart crossed, right? So she's kind of like emotionally blocked. And then also she's carrying these heavy swords. I don't know about you guys. My father collects swords. He likes swords. And I didn't realize how heavy swords were. So when I think about like back in the day when they used to be fighting, like the strength that these men had to have, just forearm strength in order to yield and hold up a sword and swing it at somebody and like hit your mark, right? But she's wasting all this effort and wasting all this energy just holding these swords in place. She's not moving on them. She's not deciding anything, but this is the point where you guys do. So maybe there's some possible options in terms of work coming up for you guys, right? I think a lot of this has to do with internal things, right? Because you are dealing with that 12th house energy, and 12th house energy can be very complicated because when you're stuck in that, there's almost in most cases, like there's nothing you can physically do to get unstuck, right? It's all very emotional. It's all very much about your healing and things that are internal. There isn't much you can do externally, right? And you guys are fire energy. You guys are fire signs, right? So it's natural for you to, when you see a problem or you see something that you want to do, you move on it, you take action. And for some of you guys, this is about facing or dealing with some other deep-rooted things, right, that you may be experiencing and deciding to move on and make a decision from it. There's definitely a fork in the road. Some of you guys, like I said, it may have to do with, your job. Some of you guys it has to do with relationships. Now, we are going to be having 2 consecutive full moons in Aquarius, which is crazy. It's very rare. So we'll have the first full moon in Aquarius this month. It'll be like on the 23rd or something. But it's also going to be happening again in August, I believe on the 22nd. Now, Aquarius, if you don't know, is your opposing sign, which means that this directly affects your relationships. So some of you guys may have to make some relationship decisions coming up here in terms of how you want to move forward or whatever. Some of you guys might be dealing with an Aries. Now, you've got the Four of Wands, that celebration card. This is about things opening up. It's interesting. You got the Six of Swords and the Ten of Wands. I almost feel like this is like kind of, how do you say? I feel like so many of you guys are falling into so many great things, but with all these great things, there is more responsibility that's placed on you, which is also why some of you guys who are in relationships, your partner might be feeling like you're being a little bit different, and it has nothing to do with them. It has everything to do with like the surrounding stress. But I will say, with this Ten of Wands popping up here, be mindful that you're delegating. You cannot do everything, Leo. You cannot take everything on. Ask for help when you need it, right? Because this is an overwhelming energy. And it's like, what was he thinking? Thinking that he was going to be able to carry all these wands across the field by himself, right? And why does he think he has to do that? So whether this is work, whether this is relationship, if there's things that you need from people, then you got to be vocal in saying it. And really, I love to see this movement card too, because Six of Swords, it's really about movement. So whether you guys are physically moving, some of you guys might be physically moving your home, right? Which we know is a very, it's some bullshit, right? Like, as much as it could be exciting that you're moving into a new place, like, it's a lot. It could be tedious. It's a very daunting task. Like, it's not always the easiest thing. So some of this could be talking about that, but you know, Six of Swords is really about moving away from turbulence, moving away from things that are difficult, taking the lessons that you've learned in the past and applying them to the future. So this is just kind of your caution. While everything is beautiful and things are looking great, some of you guys are finally getting that pay raise and recognition. Some of you guys are finally, you know, just finally finished up school and got new things that you're doing. Some of you guys, you know, whatever the case is, you're amazing and you're powerful, but you can't take it all on, okay? You cannot take it all on. Now, Ace of Swords. Oh, Ace of Swords with King of Swords. Interesting. So King of Swords and Ace of Swords, both air energy. Some of you guys might be dealing with oh shit, I'm an air sign. Why can't I think of this? Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, right? There may be some communication that needs to happen, especially if this is like your lover and like, let's say things happen a little bit distant, things happen a little bit weird, especially around the time of this Aquarius full moon. I do think that there will be some important information coming to you at this time. And maybe some important talks and like important planning of, okay, what's the next step? You know, the King of Swords, he's very decisive. He says it like it is. He really doesn't sugarcoat. He does not lean on his emotions, even though he has the ability to be. Like, he's always going to go back to logic and what makes sense, right? When we talk about Ace of Swords, we're talking about clarity. We're talking about truth. We're talking about a new way of looking at things, right? We're talking about communication. So there's a lot that's coming to you this way. I do feel like this is going to be more around that Aquarius full moon. And really pay attention to the things, sorry, my leg is falling asleep, that happen around the Aquarius full moon this time around, this month in July, because this Aquarius full moon is going to be it's going to be 1 degree, right? It's a 1 degree Aquarius full moon. The next Aquarius full moon is going to be a 29 degree. So there is kind of this sense that things are going to be kind of coming full circle, right? The next full moon, you kind of reach a peak of something. So really pay attention to the things that are happening this month around that, because I do think that there'll be repetitive themes for the next one. And again, for you guys, this is all about 7th house energy. So it heavily has to do with your relationships and partnerships, not just intimate ones, right? Your relationships to work, your family, your friends, your habits, food, whatever. So those are all things. Now, in your environment, you've got the 4 of Swords here. Again, 12th house energy makes you naturally just like, if you want to, like, you could fall asleep and just sleep all day if you could. Like, if it would be allowed, you would. You know, this is a card of rest and relaxation. This is a card that tells you, hey, you got to get back to the basics. You need to meditate. You need to connect to source. You know, 4 of Swords follows 3 of Swords, which is usually about sorrow and heartbreak and disappointment. So there could have been something that's happened wrong. But I think for most of you guys, it's just kind of, you know, burnout and kind of recouping and making sure that you are getting the rest that you need, especially before your season hits, right? Yeah. Oh, Lord, I have needles on my foot, y'all. Hold on. Whew, let me tap it out. It's like tingling. Okay. Some of you guys might even be taking vacation, which is really, really nice. And that's what that rest and relaxation card can be about. Like, you know what? Take the time. You guys have been working so hard. You've got things coming up. So really get into it. Four of Pentacles is clarifying this. So Four of Pentacles is about saving. It's about making sure that you are mindful of your finances. This could also be someone who is coming off as a little bit guarded or maybe even selfish. But the point of Four of Pentacles really at the end of the day is normally when we are grasping so hard onto something, it's because there's a fear of losing it, right? You've got two fours here. No, three fours here. You've got a Wands, you've got a Pentacle, and you've got the Four of Swords. Fours. We are in the month of four. We are in the month of, fourth house energy. Then you got the Sun card, which is really, really beautiful. Yeah, I think, really rest up this month. Like, try to fit in your you time as much as you can, because I feel like things are going to get quite busy, as Leo season tends to do. I absolutely love Leo season. One of my favorite fucking seasons of all. I'm a Libra. I love Leo. So I love the energy that comes off on everybody during Leo season, right? It's also my 11th house. So I love like the social of it. And I think you guys are going to be quite busy and feeling really, really good too. So make sure that you are resting. Make sure that you are delegating tasks. If things get overwhelming, you are not alone. You don't have to do everything on your own, okay? You got an Ace of Cups here. Like I said, okay? Leo, that Mars and Venus conjunction is going to be really cute for relationships. If you are a single Leo, this is a great time that maybe you might be meeting somebody. If you are already attached, this is a time where you guys might spice up your life just a touch, which is really beautiful. Coming together, also lots of coming together with friends, right? I love to see these together because whether we're talking about friends or whatever, Three of Cups is about joy and happiness and serendipity, and like it's just a really good feeling energy of being around people that you love and trust and having a good time. And although you guys have a lot that you might be experiencing deep down, and Leo, you guys just want to have a good time, so you really don't like putting your issues out on other people, and I understand. But there's a lot of healing that can come from your friend groups, from your lovers, from just having a good time, relaxing, and celebrating your wins. I think you guys have some wins this month. There's something definitely that's transformed this month. It feels like an elevation for many of you. And so celebrate it. Celebrate it. One of my best friends. So I have like three best friends, okay? One's a Cancer, one's a Leo, and one's a Capricorn. And my Leo best friend, she's my oldest, dearest best friend. We've known each other since we were children. And she's a doctor. And she just officially... So she did her undergrad, she did her med school, she did her 4.5 years of residency, and then she did, what is this ship? I don't even know what it's called. She just finished another segment of it. She's officially done to where she's she's been able to say she's a doctor, but she's officially done. And that all happened this month. So that's an example of things coming together. And although it could be overwhelming, there's a lot of joy and things to celebrate, even though it may put more responsibility on your plate, right? What is that last thing that's called? God. Med school, residency, there's something else. And then some other program. Child, I don't know, she's been in school since forever. And we're going to be 35 this year. She's been doing the things. So yeah, lots of things to be proud of. Lots of accomplishments for you guys, okay? Now, last but not least, you've got the Five of Wands, which talks about competition, but you've also got that Six of Cups card coming out again. So, again, if things have been a little funky, especially in your love life, especially that first week of July, things will clear up. I do think that Mars-Venus conjunction will help things quite a bit. Because whenever I see the Six of Cups and this Five of Wands card together, you know, not only is it about competition, but many times it's about people not being on the same page. So again, like the initial message was like, you guys, maybe some of you guys are feeling a little bit distant, being a little bit overwhelmed in terms of like your work, trying to find that work-life balance where these things might come up in your relationships, especially towards the end of the month next to that full moon. So this is about like getting it back together and getting on the same page, right? The original depiction, you've got like 5 people with wands and they're all over the place. You can't tell who's on the same team. You can't tell who's fighting who. You just can't, it's just chaos. And I do think that there is the opportunity for things to really come together in a beautiful way if things have been a little bit wonky. Okay? You guys also got, it is safe for you to receive. The more you allow yourself to receive, the more resources you have available to share with others. Open your arms to receive and be a conduit for good coming to you and through you as it blesses the world. Yes, you guys are so loving and so giving, but receive too. Like, be okay with, like, let people love you. You feel me? Like, it's all good. And you guys also have this retreat card. Again, going back to that rest and relaxation, that Four of Swords energy of like, look, take the time that you need this month to chill. There's going to be a lot of you feeling very introspective, maybe not being as social as you normally are. You do have some celebration cards in terms of like maybe there's some elevations in relationships. We see here they're literally in like wedding attire. So this to me is almost like, oh, they're going on their little honeymoon. But regardless, this is a really good time to retreat, take a few steps back, be in some silence with you or your lover, and just chill and just take it all in, okay? So I hope that this was helpful for you guys. I love you so much, and I will talk to you later. Happy birthday to all you July Leos, like my BFF. Love you guys. Bye.